January 1984, I became a member of the club, Rotary Club of Kebayoran, Jakarta. Most exciting program at that time was called the 3H program, Health, Hunger and Humanity. The first 3H program that was launched was polio eradication program in Philippines as a pilot under the 3H program. That was the initiative of Sir Klemdenov. It was hugely successful. It saved some 6 million children from polio. That was a great opportunity for me to see the project at work. Indonesia eradicated polio much ahead of India. And then the president offered his palace to conduct the district conference. And then he advised every club to invite Rotarians who've worked for polio eradication. I shook hands with President Suharto. 89 or 93, I became a Paul Harris Fellow. Actually, I moved to Singapore. I established my own consultancy firm. So I was traveling and therefore to manage attending meetings, I found it a bit of a problem. 2001, I joined Coromandel. My only contribution was becoming a PHF again. I had a look at what Coromandel was and I was very much impressed. One, of course, was Karnavidya. The great contributions to the Rotary Foundation which our club was making. Close to 200,000 was the contribution made by Coromandel. They had practically no project to claim credit for. You manage to be poor when you have a treasure chest just by your side without using it, and others were grabbing from it. These contributions are to the annual fund. They come back to you after 3 years as DDF, and the DDF was being utilized by the governors according to their own agenda, and then they were being used by other clubs, but not Coromandel. I was struck by that phenomenon and I decided that Coromandel must do projects so that it could use its own contributions. Let me tell you, we have not fully done that, even today. We had what was called as a Group Study Exchange Program, GSC program. There was also another unique program called Semester at Sea. I was one of the regular hosts for the foreign visitors over here. We had the house, we had the accommodation, I had the car, I could drop them, pick them up after their day was over, and then I also arranged some vocational visits. And these people were doing, even during the short stays, projects. Though many of them were not Rotarians, they were doing programs for $100, getting, for example, mattresses for some of the destitutes and so on. In those projects and how the poor communities were being addressed and they were getting benefited. My being regularly in touch with Rotarians from abroad, UK, USA, South Africa, and my seeing their programs here, their projects here, with a little bit of money, were impressive. And then the enormous reach of Rotary, the international reach Rotary had. At the club level, you had such a resource of persons who could help you with money, who could help you also with their professional expertise. So having all these things, I thought it was a no-brainer to have good projects and get them done. In 2011-12, while the club had done very well, had contributed a lot, had also set aside a lot of funds, perhaps for the kind of projects I was thinking about, if I touched all that money, it wouldn't be a good thing. So I decided that I would find my money for club projects. Srinivas, again from the University of Virginia, he had a musical troupe. He is the son-in-law of our Rajagopal, and he said that we can have a global music program. So we gave it the name Malhar. Global music with all kinds of exotic instruments. Subbu went ahead and then he got 5 lakhs of contribution for that concert from India Cements. Then I got hold of Royal Enfield, I got hold of 5 lakhs. Then a couple of lakhs came from another source. Then we did the ticketing for the program. We also widely publicized that. The result was we netted something like 12 lakhs of rupees. I followed it up later on by holding a kacheri of Ranjani and Gayatri. That was on 3rd December, the day for the disabled. That day I organized a program and we collected another 5 lakhs. So 17 lakhs. District Governor Sampath Kumar had a proposal for me. He said, I want you to do a district program. This is for polio eradication, called Child for Child. Make a presentation of what good polio is doing to children so that these children in schools are persuaded to contribute. This is the program. This is very unique. I had just about 3 weeks or so. We netted about, I think, 25 lakhs or so, out of which, as promised, I gave some 6 to 7 lakhs to polio fund. So it entered the books of the club and then it was contributed. The rest of the money I had kept aside. This money was kept aside for 2 projects we had in mind, and they became later our matching grant projects. Community radio. And the other was this Karnavidya Technology Center. I realized that Karnavidya was such an achiever. It had to be known. Okay, so I invited the district governor, Sampath Kumar, and later I followed it up by applying for a significant achievement award for Karnavidya. It was all done by the past presidents, starting from 1999. We became the best club of the district and we got the award. My expectation of having some money to spend on projects was also realized. Future Vision is the grant model we are following today, ran as a pilot in 50 countries. When you are doing a Rotary funded project, that minimum should be $30,000. So when we first turned in the application for the community radio station, showing that it benefits the community and so on, they rejected it. And then I spoke to the DRFC at that time, Rotarian Veeramani. I also spoke to P.T. Prabhakar. On the point of becoming RI director, the Future Vision talked of the areas of focus. So I pointed that out. You have these 6 areas of focus, and here is a project that fulfills all the 6 areas. We got that approved. Perhaps the first club in the world to do a community radio station. The drinking water supply program of our OKM Thorapakam school. This program went off very well. The funds were $17,000. Nalamdana contributed $7,000. We found $10,000. Karnavidya Technology Center was another great matching grant project. When we went and spoke to all these visually challenged people, we found them all quite aspirational. They were proficient in many things, including music, in dance. And they wanted to learn. They wanted to learn English. They wanted to get familiar with the computers. So no longer hand-holding was the way you could do it. No longer volunteering was the way you could do it. So these guys had the makings of some brilliant students, ambitious about their education and their career. A bit of help from our side was all that would trigger a transformation. Just before the technology center idea fructified as a project, we decided that these people should be given a platform to get together and then chart their own path of progress. That was Community Rotary Club of Drishti. So it is almost again a pioneer thing in Rotary. A community Rotary Club exclusively for the visually challenged, of, for and by the visually challenged. That was Drishti. Only the visually challenged can lead visually challenged. This Karnavidya Technology Center project was the one I took to the Bangkok Convention. Again, another first for our club. We presented there the community service, and then we also made a presentation of the technology center idea. I think it was District 1400, Finland, agreed to be our international partner, to be our partner for Karna Vidya Technology Center. So it was a project for $22,000. All equipments, state of the art, Karna Vidya Technology Center, and the foundation it has spawned. And today the foundation is going places, and the foundation has got more money than our club does. One initiative that was widely being talked about was WINS, Wash in Schools, Water Sanitation and Hygiene. The confluence of circumstances and the visibility of Coromandel. Coromandel by then was known. Our projects were known. I was being referred to only as Coromandel BALA. Again we went on a different model. 1531-246 global grant. It was the initiative of Coromandel. Who actually did the project? They were the other clubs. We got hold of 12 other clubs. So it was again a big project. If I remember right, about $140,000 was the size of the project, involving 12 schools, some $30,000 saving out of the project money. I had this $30,000 of money. We decided that we would provide 200 stainless steel hand wash stations. Anand helped in the initial stages of testing the water in these various schools and finding out whether they were good for drinking or not good for drinking. We did the baseline survey. We selected 65 schools. Subbu also did that in Havai Home as well as in Okim Thorapakam schools. This project benefited about 40,000 students, mostly girls, hand washing. So around the time the COVID-19 landed in India, at least we had 65 schools, mostly government schools, which were ready with the hand washing facility. And therefore, at least indirectly, our club would have saved thousands of lives. This is a habit you have to develop not for yourself. You must spread this message to your community. Once you have given them, the facility, they own it. This is again a pretty great project. Quite a few schools initially, the facilities we provided for these 10 schools were complete. They were complete with libraries, they were complete with playgrounds. I think in one case we also helped the school with a band. So nice to meet children, my second experience after Child for Child, getting acquainted with the children, talking to them in the schools. There was even an emergency. There was a school, I think Dr. Ambedkar School in Egmore. They were doing some metro work, and then a lot of the mud from the soil through their sanitary system got into the school. Apparently there were some breaks or leaks or whatever in places, and the road mud, because of the pressure which these people were applying in preparing the soil for a metro, got into the school. So I rushed to the school early in the morning. Tons and tons of mud from the toilets into the grounds, almost closing the approaches to the school. $250,000 my money I had contributed to projects, our own projects included. I had also established 3 endowments, about 125,000 or so. Direct contributions to projects would have amounted to another 125,000 or so. That was for the Arch Clump Society membership. I decided about 10% of my money I should give away to charity. I have seen so many great things our club had done. My dream that a great club like this with so much of contribution should also do good, not merely give money, it should do good. That motivated me, and then we did these projects. For the global grant projects, I had contributed the sums. For both the Kuppachipparai project as well as for the WASH project, I had given 2 term gifts. Each term gift was of a value of $30,000. Then the direct contributions to numbered projects, including international projects, the major international project that attracted our attention, where we materially helped, was help to this Lady Ridgeway Children's Hospital. In fact, I rate it ahead of the projects we have done. Babies suffering from CHTs, they were doing it all with cow tissues. And these tissues in Sri Lanka were being imported at a cost of over $2,000 per piece. So, the tissues very early calcified. It has a reduced functionality. So, the right one are the human tissues. Buddhists believe in giving away their body parts before they die. Human heart valve tissues were available. In other words, donors are available. What you need are certain facilities to get these tissues, store them, and use them as needed. That had the potential of saving 1,000 children's lives in a year. Every year through this project, Rotary saves the lives of 1,000 babies. Lady Ridgeway Hospital is a free hospital for everyone. They also had a ward for children. The incentive was there from the state health department. They had agreed to erect a block. $300,000 or so was the cost. But the Rotary cost was $365,000. Totally $665,000 was the cost of the project. So we got introduced to Bill Gray, and Bill said, "Don't worry, I'll help this project." Madras Coromandel was helping actually Colombo Fort. I gave 33,000, and then the project got started. Got 10 to 12 districts and clubs came forward. They contributed. Coromandel became the international partner. Value was 365,000. It was a level 3 project. It had to go to the trustees for approval. And today, if 1,000 Sri Lankan babies are saved every year, Coromandel has the part. See, Kuppachiparai, I got introduced helping a UNICEF project, that of building 300 home toilets at a cost of 10,000 rupees each. UNICEF contributed 6,000 per toilet. 3,000 was the contribution of the village. Jiva came and asked me once whether we could help supplement this home toilet project in Kuppachiparai. About 100 of them. During that year, we helped build about 60 toilets, 60 or 70 toilets, and the next year, some 30 or 40. In addition to that, 3-wheelers to disabled and so on. After 2011-12, when I was returning from Bangalore, I thought I would have a look at the toilets that we had helped build. The toilets were not being used because there was no water. They had dug deep wells, deep bore wells, you see, about 600 feet, 700 feet and so on to get some water. Once it reached a depth of about, say, 800 to 900 feet or even more, they started hitting dry holes. There was no water. They were pretty much looking for drinking water. So much money spent. 300 toilets at 10,000 rupees each. It's 30 lakhs of rupees down the drain because there is no water. By and large, practically here, the cultivation has stopped and people have started moving out of the village. These are the villages that were growing mangoes in a big way in the good old days. That National Agro Foundation was one that was started by C. Subramanian, who was the Agriculture Minister for Government of India. Abdul Kalam was one of the trustees. So it had great antecedents. First of all, we had to do a survey, about 80,000 rupees. I told them, I'll pay you. So they did the initial survey. According to the readings, this is a village which gets enough rain. If this rain water is saved and stored, then it could help cultivation. NABARD, National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, they would help you. And they would look for a minimum area of 1,000 hectares. We should do everything according to what they said. They will put 50% of the money. I decided to give this term gift of 60,000. See, I spoke to the number 1 and number 2 of NABARD in Nungumbakam High Road. They were very enthusiastic. The other thing they said was in every one of these cases, you have to get a no objection certificate from the agricultural department of Tamil Nadu, but that was the problem, which held up our project for 2 years. We got word through the Panchayat chief that there was something that was needed to push the files. You know what it is. I told him, in principle, Rotary or me won't spend a pie more than what is needed to spend for the project. We also held a meeting with the collector. That didn't help either, because the collector gave the appointment to us at 9 o'clock in the morning, went away for some meetings, came at about 3 or 3:30 and met us at 5 o'clock, and the first question he asked us was why we didn't have an appointment with him. I lost my temper. I recalled in the earlier year, I actually had a team member who was the past president of the Rotary Club of Vellore Golden City. We were all one district at that time, 3230. I told him that this is the project. Then he said, you have come to the right person at the right time. I am the PA for the collector of Dharmapuri. The collector of Dharmapuri is looking after Krishnagiri as well. He said, give me the file number, you will get your NOC in 1 week. He got me. See, this is how Rotary helps. From that time onwards, it was all fine. There were 2 phases. It was wonderful moving with those people. And more than our district, in District 2982, the project was very popular. Many of their clubs came. Many of their club Rotarians visited our project because it became an example for District 2982. The capacity building phase and also later on the full implementation phase. Essentially, NABARD takes it very seriously only if the capacity building phase is satisfactorily done. They were happy. And NABARD, they are very professional. They came up with the training and also exposure visits for the farmers. They paid for it. Our partner, Rotary Club of Managar Krishnagiri, they visit the project quite frequently. It is more than $100,000 worth. Became a level 2 project. There was an expert. He came from Bangladesh. He visited the project along with us, and then he submitted a no comment report, which means he has got nothing to add. It is complete. And then it was a project where we took our international partners, Cataract Kingston, at least about 3 times. Progress was so good that NABARD extended this project to 5 more villages. So everything is done on the basis of the NOC we had obtained. It is according to survey numbers. Those surveys included also some 5 more villages. So with the existing approval of the collectorate, we could get to do not 3 but 8 villages. It is 16.3 square kilometers of an area. Rotary as a service evolved only with Arch Club. I consider Arch Club as perhaps the greatest Rotarian who really put Rotary on the international map. The outside world cares for you only when you are relevant to them And that relevance Rotary gets only by serving. We became a service institution mainly because of the vision of Arch Club. In 1617, when he had a few dollars, he announced that Rotary should do good in the world. And he also said that Rotary should accept endowments. Through program like Polio Plus, Rotary is known to the world. He was essentially a person who made his living delivering newspapers. He was a flutist who was playing the flute for the Cleveland Symphony Orchestra, and he rose from that to a businessman. A kind of a Horatio Alger Jr. story. Doing good in the world and accept donations, they fulfill two great ingredients you need to serve the community. One is, of course, money, the endowment part of it. The other is doing something. And these two you did on the platform of Rotary. It is actually an associated group of people. We come together. We do things. The club is the entity. The club is a member of Rotary. The club is the one that gets the credit. And the club is the one that does. And club is the one that provides the money. This is all evident in every project we do. Any person who is a Rotarian and also who is a potential Rotarian should know this, that it is not an individual effort. He can also do his bit in the company of others, contributing his might. He can achieve that final objective I call as satisfaction. It is not all that great an effort, all that sacrifice of your money and possessions that go to make you a Rotarian a little bit here, a little bit there. But do it with a purpose, be in the company of other Rotarians. So you're a group, you're a club, you achieve. Rotary that way is a great idea. And this is what, the Rotarians and the potential Rotarians have to know. Rotary creates that kind of a learning experience. When you go as an institution, quite a few doors open. For instance, I was there in the Directorate of Education. I met the Director of School Education. He made available to me the names of the schools and their addresses, their contacts, etc. for something like 7,000 schools in Tamil Nadu. As an individual, I would not have got it. You have access to the help of people outside Rotary. They take you seriously. You are taken seriously when you say, I'm a Rotarian. You, therefore, can be knowingly and unknowingly an instrument of social transformation. When we touch somebody as an individual, but here is the entire world.